exploring sex transmutation.
And so today we are going to be talking about sex transmutation. What is it and how can you use it? So, what is sex transmutation? Sex transmutation is when you take your sexual energy and you transmute it, so you move it. When you transmute it, you're converting something and putting it in something else. So, you are transporting it through the channels of your body into something else. So, for example, instead of having sex, you decide to make artwork, or you decide to work out, or you decide to create music. You can use that sexual energy for anything because it's just energy. So you have this energy inside of you that you have to release. And it doesn't matter how you release it, you will release it. And a lot of people release it through sex, and it gives you a lot of dopamine and it makes you feel good and it's very pleasurable. But you can also use that energy for other things, because once you release that energy, you lack energy. You no longer have as much energy to get things done. I'm not saying sex is bad, because sex is great. You can even use sex transmutation within sex. You can practice with tantric sex, but that's not something that I'm going to talk about today, because I specifically just want to talk about sex transmutation, because that's what I mostly have experience with. I have not practiced tantric sex, and so I'm not ready to talk about that. But I have sustained from sex for a while now, and I am practicing celibacy because I want to see how that works. I've read about the history books where a lot of the greats were actually celibate and they created really amazing stuff, whether it was music, writings, artwork, anything really. You can just use that energy for whatever you want. And so basically that is the gist of it. You, instead of having sex or orgasming, you do something else. You use up your energy. You go for a run. You decide to write, or you decide to draw, or play an instrument, or learn something new. Anything you want to do that requires releasing energy, you can do it instead of sex, and it gives you very different results. When I first started, that was the whole basic idea and what I wanted to do. But what I have learned is that not only does it help in that aspect of your life, but I have also learned that in general, I have so much more energy than I used to. Not just to get the things done that I've talked about. Like, yes, you can use it for your creative endeavors, but I've also learned that I have energy to do like twice as much as I used to. So not only am I using that energy for my artwork, now I have energy to cook every day. Now I have energy to actually work out a few times a week. Now I have energy to work, like aside from my artwork, to go do my other work, do my artwork, have my YouTube account. I create, and all of those I edit, I make videos, I honestly, I'm like so much more busy than I ever thought that I could be, because I actually used to lack a lot of energy, and it really it really brought me down a lot, because I used to struggle with days where I couldn't do anything. And it's not like I was having a whole bunch of sex either, but I wasn't transmuting the energy. I was just like letting it be, and I would be anxious a lot, so it would just transform into anxiety instead, because I wasn't using it. I was just letting it run wild inside of me. And so now, because I'm learning how to release it in different parts of my life, and I'm not releasing it in sexual ways, I have all this energy that I'm just using everywhere in my life, and I have energy for all of those things. And then even within that, that has helped me learn so much about my body. Like, I have gotten to know my body in ways I didn't even know I could. My body started talking more to me. I have different cravings. I'm eating so much healthier. I'm craving a healthier lifestyle in general, like the way that I keep active, the things that I eat, the things that I expose myself to, the friends that I am attracted to. Just even my pleasures in life and the things I want to try, the things I want to explore, the things I want to talk about, the things I want to read. Everything in my life is changing drastically since I started this exploration. And so, yes, it's a good thing to just, transmute it into some projects that maybe you want to do to see how creatively it can come out without focusing on other things like sex. But overall, there's just other things that it changes in your life that I didn't know that would be a thing. I didn't expect it to be such a life-changing thing for me, and I have decided that because of that, I want to continue exploring it. Initially I wanted to explore it for just a year and then see how it went, but I am a bit over a year now and I'm loving it, and I feel like every day and every month I am having more and more energy. I'm adding more things onto my plate and I'm not feeling overwhelmed. I'm not feeling the anxiety that I used to. I'm making changes that I never thought that I needed or wanted or craved. So it's a pretty exciting journey to be in, and I'm not saying that it's the one and only and the best, but it's definitely a really fun one to explore. I have also met people online that, they tried it for a while and they're not on it anymore. So it's not something that you have to stick to and just like, okay, this is my new path. But it can be you can reroute, like take this path and then go back to where you were if you wanted, just to have that experience in your life and know what it was like. But also, you never know if that is the path that you're gonna love more than anything you have before, and it might be the path that will lead you to something else that you don't know that it could lead you to. And so I definitely recommend, if it intrigues you, that you give it a try, even if it doesn't have to be a year. There's people that try to do periods of time where they take breaks from sexual activities for like a week and 2 weeks to a month. Like, even at the beginning, it's not that easy. You don't just stop and all of a sudden you just don't crave sex anymore. It's a process, and it's not about getting rid of your libido either. I don't think that I have gotten rid of it. I don't feel like it's completely gone. I feel like once I decide that, like, I want to take a break or I want to stop this journey, that I can. Personally, I don't think that I will ever stop this journey. I think that I might eventually take a break and actually explore tantric sex for a little bit, or for um, every once in a while. But for me, I feel like it's my path. It's the journey I want to take. It's what makes me happy, and I'm just in love with it. So for me, it worked out. But like I said, I've met people that have tried it temporarily and they don't regret it. They're happy. They're like, I'm happy I have that, in my back pocket. I know what it's like. I know that if I ever want to try it again, that they can, and they do. And so, yeah. Thank you for being here. If you have any tips, or if you have tried it, or you have any more questions about it, or about how I started it, because at the beginning it was a little bit harder. It took some steps to get to where I am. With sex, I think it was a lot easier because I didn't have a partner at the time. But when it came to self-pleasure, it was definitely harder for me to stop myself, and I went through a process, and I made some techniques and rules and games around it to help me get to where I am. So if you want to talk about that, we can definitely talk about that. And honestly, in general, I think that even if you just want to try, like I said, for very short periods of time where you just go a week and then use that energy in other things, and then, you do your thing and then go for another week, or just do 2 weeks, or just do months at a time, where you just do 1 month and then completely give yourself to your artwork and your creativity, and just dedicate yourself and focus yourself on that. And then you go back to doing your thing, and then you can every once in a while do a month of it. Like, you don't have to stay on the journey. It's not a very specific journey that you have to do it this way. There's different ways of doing it, and there's people that I also know that have also abstained from sex, but not from self-pleasure, because you can also use that sexual energy with yourself to manifest things and to concentrate on your art. When you are pleasuring yourself, you can think about your art, and you can create in your mind and come up with ideas. And so, yeah, there's just a lot of ways that you can explore it. And there's not just one way to do it. So, I definitely recommend looking into it and seeing if it's something you want to try and how you want to try it. So, one last thing, I did mention that I generally don't get overwhelmed, but I do want to clarify that in that sense. I don't get overwhelmed in the sense of I don't feel like, oh, I don't have enough energy to do this. But I do have moments where I do feel overwhelmed and do have my bad days and sad days. Like, my life is not perfect. I am not living every day of my life happy as happy can be. That's not very realistic, anyways. Life definitely needs balance. But I do want to clarify that when I do feel overwhelmed in my life, it's mostly related to the fact that I feel overwhelmed when I have to do things that I don't really want to do. So I mentioned that I do my artwork and then I also do other work on the side. Whenever I have to do work on the side that is just based on income and just to help myself get by, that overwhelms me, you know? Whenever I have bad news or I don't get a job that I want, that overwhelms me and it sucks. I don't like to use my energy for work that I don't really enjoy. So most of the time I definitely do try to find work that I enjoy, that I like, or that it's connected or related to my art or my work or my acting or anything that kind of can give me at least a little bit of joy. I try to do that. Obviously, it's not always realistic in this lifetime. Sometimes we do have to take jobs that we don't want because we need the money. So those are kind of the things that I guess I'll be honest about it, that do overwhelm me. Those are the areas that do get me down still, and to make me sad. But that is why I'm so focused on this journey and why I'm so happy that I do have the energy to do those jobs, but still have the energy to continue contributing to my artwork, because that is my main goal. That is what makes me happy. And I know that if I didn't have all this energy and I just had to do other work, I wouldn't have as much energy to work on my art. And that would overwhelm me even more, because I wouldn't really see myself getting to my goal as fast as I feel like I might be getting. And it's not super fast right now. I know that this is a process and it takes a lot of patience, and I do dedicate myself a lot to it, and I know that right now I don't get back as much as I'm putting out, but I have a vision, I have a goal, and that's what keeps me going, and that's what makes me happy, and that's one of the reasons why I'm happy to be on this path, because it's giving me the energy that I need to have to continue the path. So yeah, I just want to clarify that, and don't want to pretend like I'm this super happy person that is always happy and nothing bad happens and my life is perfect and all of a sudden everything's working out in my life. I'm still learning how to manifest. I'm still learning how to completely transmute my energy into the things I want, and I'm learning how to say no to the jobs that don't contribute to my happiness, but also acknowledging that I need to balance my life out and I need to make money to eat and pay my bills. So yeah, just always want to make sure that I'm as genuine as I can with you guys, and I don't want to pretend like my life is different than it is. I want to be able to learn from you guys and for you guys to learn from me in the most honest way possible. So yeah, thank you for being here, and I look forward to sharing more with you and hearing from you all.